Hey, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Please hit a like. Well, what are we doing today? We're going to fly from a place called Goroka in Papua New Guinea to Aibai. Very short flight. I'm flying in an H160 aircraft. If I can just step out of the aircraft for a second and show you. There it is. It's a beautiful aircraft model. It's in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I'm also using the Tobii eye tracker. So right now I'm just moving my head. You can see in the video above, the calibration of the eye tracker allows me to move my head slightly, and the eye tracker allows the vision to move at a greater degree. So there we go. We're outside the aircraft, so we're going to have to start this aircraft up. There may be a little bit of wobbling around because of the Tobii eye tracker. I've also got a new configuration for video recording. So over here you have the collective over here, which is effectively the Warthog throttle. It's a very high-end throttle that you can procure. And over here you've got the stick, which is also a Warthog stick, joystick. It's all metal, this stick. And this is the cyclic of the aircraft. And if you watch my hands here, you'll see it move back and forth, up and down, like that. And we'll look here at the, look at that. So there we go. Collective going up, so I have it set to push forward is up and push back is down. So it's just a matter of programming your mind. And I've got pedals in the bottom that are really nice pedals. So Turtle Beach pedal set here, and you can see me moving the pedals left and right. I don't have a camera down there yet. I may someday put a camera down. So the first thing I want to do is start this aircraft up. This is a little tricky, but I'm going to just jump up top here. All I have to do is look up and lean over here, and I'm going to turn on some batteries on the aircraft. So it's looking over here, and I got to keep my head steady while I'm doing this to turn the batteries on. So I'm just going to turn on battery 1 and 2 here, and that should give me a little bit of power on the avionics. There we go. And just lean over, and I'm going to turn on the tablet. And this is the tablet for the aircraft. Just ignore the cautions and warnings here that you're seeing. And on the tablet, I've got documentation. And we go back. I kind of move my head a bit there. And click the button on the bottom of the tablet. And just don't move your head. That's the tricky part. And here I've got my checklist, which is Golden Dark Startup. And there's my startup checklist. So I just lean forward with my Tobii eye tracker. I can see everything. So it wants me to turn the batteries and generators on, and the DC ground power unit on, do my power up checks, and then the radar altimeter 1 and 2 on, the FMS, and then a lamp test. So let's just look up here quickly. And I think I've turned my batteries on already, and generator 1, generator 2, and I think I'm going to turn on the DC power unit. I think it's, there we go, it's on. If I lean over here, I've got radar altimeter 1 and 2, turn those on, 1 and 2, and I think I got a co-pilot sitting next to me today. I may want to get rid of her. So that's that. So that's pretty good. And I want to do the lamp test. I think if I go up top here, I can turn on heading, compass, decision, fuel quantity. Okay, so I think I go over here and I can do my auxiliary pump to check my controls, or do a lamp test. Let me just put the FMS here. So it seems like I've lost a connection of some sort, but let's just ignore that for now. And turn on FMS 1, FMS 2, and there we go, the lamp test. It's a little tricky with Tobii eye tracker because it's looking at your eyes, and I've got glasses. I'm not sure if that makes a difference.
Audio test.
There we go. Lamp test is good. Just get rid of some of these alerts here. And again, it says I'm successfully connected. So I think that was the interweb dropping off. All right, so let's get back here. I got my lighting panel. I think I'm pretty good there, but my floats are off. Wipers are off right now, and my terrain avoidance system, I want to turn that off too, because it's effectively tons of terrain. So I don't need my floats. I could put them on auto, but my wipers are off, and I want to put my train avoidance system on mute. I want to mute that, and my collision avoidance system. And I want to turn on my autopilot 1 and 2. So let's just, I think we're going to have to start the engines first. Off. Lighting panel. So down here you have the lighting panel here. And I really don't need cabin lighting and this sort of thing here. So ambient lighting, cabin lighting. I may want to turn on external lighting here. And landing lighting should be on flight mode probably. And what do we got here? Yeah, so that's good. Let's go for white. And there we go. I'm just going to turn my maps on in a second. I gotta see, I've got my HTOS on mute, and so it's recognizing that, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And leaning forward here again, and my MFDs are good. Do you have DMAP as required? Nothing on the engines yet. Payload, so I can change my actual payload here. So, and just wheel that up a bit on the payload side. So just assuming I got a few people in the aircraft. That's the payload actually. I'm just bringing goods and services to the location. I got 155 kilograms of air crew. I think I will get rid of my co-pilot. So I think if I configure this like this and look at crew, I can ditch my co-pilot. And I've got 4 folks in the back, that's fine. So get rid of my co-pilot and back into the documentation. And we are, cockpit lighting is fine, it's daytime. Fuel, so what do I have for fuel? Yeah, I've got flight fuel's not bad. Status, got my DMAP, and there we are in Goroka. Go back to my monitoring system here. My overhead panel, so auxiliary pump, I did that. I already did my check, so we won't bother doing that again. Collective up and down, so you turn your aux pump on, you do all the tests of your collective and your cyclic, and then you turn it off again. So I won't bother with that. I'll just go back and go to the engine start. So I want to make sure I've got my VMS page selected, which I do. There's the VMS page was selected. I went from DMAP to VMS. Overhead panel engine 1 and 2, want to put them on idle. So let's do that. Let's look up here again, and I want to put engine 1 on idle and engine 2 on idle. So I probably should start up engine 1 first and then engine 2, but I'm going to fire them up both at the same time. Breaking all the rules. And there we got some rotor turning here. Let's look outside for a second. And there we go. And I got my start card, as you can see right there. That's my start card. Our auxiliary power unit, DC power unit. So that's good. I got that going. And if I look in again, start monitor. So I'm looking for my N1 and my turbine output temperature. I think that's TOT. And N1 25. I can start. Yeah, there we go. N1, N2, NR. That's the speed of my rotor. Right now it's only at 80. So I'm going to pick that up a bit. And my hydraulic pressure should increase, and my NR should stabilize at 80%. And that's at 80 right now. And my torque's good. My output turbine output temperature is good, if that's what that is. So I've got fuel for 3 hours, no problem there. I just sort of guessed on my payload here. And I'll just put this in map mode. Down here, that's fine. Yeah, it's all good. And autopilot, need to turn this on, so I want to make sure, just zoom in here a bit and go over, and you want to make sure that this is on, and on, right? And this is, the trim is automatically on unless I click it and then I'm turning it off. So that's the auto trim. Landing gear is down right now, as you can see. ACAS is on. A couple of warnings here. The generator, I need to disconnect my emergency generator. I just need to disconnect the DCU ground power unit. Head up here and keep it steady. That's the only problem with OBI trackers. You gotta make sure your head's steady. So all this is good. Okay, these are input filters here for the engine, and I think they should be on norm. And so I'll just get back here and get myself settled in, and go back up here. Turn the input filters to norm. Ground power unit should be off. Is that off or on? It's on now. It's off now. All right, I think we're good. I don't need to turn on my emergency generator, I don't believe. I'll get back down here and have a look. You can see it's required. I don't need engine 2, so I should have started engine 2 after engine 1, but so be it. Made a mistake here. Overhead panel DC. So I disconnect that already. GPU door. And out floats on auto or as required. I just don't bother turning the floats on. See, it's pre-flight check. Collective did that. Overhead panel. So I want to flip to flight mode, I believe. Go to 3. Yeah, I need to go into flight mode here. So let's go over here and turn engine 1 into flight mode and engine 2 into flight mode. Need a little bit of stability with the TOBI tracker here, because it's all over the map right now somehow. So I think I'm ready to go. Look here, I have emergency disconnected. That's acknowledge that, acknowledge. It's still mute. Let me look outside and make sure I don't have any nonsense going on here. Yeah, the start card is gone now. It looks like we're good. I'm going to just look at my map here and see if I was able to successfully map this over. I'm not sure if it maps over or not. So where is my map? Just lean forward a bit, and I've got my map here. And I'm at Goroka right now. And what I want to do now is Microsoft Flight Sim. I can go and connect my Navigraph charts here, and that's my Navigraph chart. Should synchronize with my tablet. I actually have a tablet sitting in front of my screen right now, and I need to synchronize. I'm going to unload this one here, and Papua New Guinea. I think this is that's my trace there, and we zoom in here. It's exactly what's happening here. So I'm taking off from Goroka, and I'm Aibai, or whatever it's called, Aibai, I think. So I'm going to fly to Aibai, and what I want to do is hide this here, and I'm going to take this map and put it off screen. So there's my flight there, and I'm sitting here on the runway. And ATC, I could ask for permission to taxi, I guess. So if I turn on the ATC, you just move this map out. So you click up top here, map pops out. And now I'm looking over to the right because I have 4 screens on my computer. And there we go. And I can fold this in right now because I'm tracking with my other screen. Yeah, there we go. So for all air traffic control, I don't want any of that. I want tower ATC, and I think I'll just request straight
Goroka ground H160 Foxtrot, Hotel Yankee Papa Echo request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
H160 Foxtrot, Hotel Yankee Papa Echo taxi 2 and hold short of runway 35 right using taxiway. Contact tower on 118.7 when ready.
Now, if you look down at my controls here, I have a switch in the bottom here that allows me to do air traffic control. So it just selects one.
Taxi
do
2
that.
and hold short runway 35 right using taxiway H160 Yankee.
And that way I don't
Papa
have to
Echo.
fart around. I also have if you look down at my, right here, collective, the main trigger here centers my window with the Tobii eye tracker. So if I keep my head steady like this and hit the Tobii eye tracker or hit the button, it centers my window. That way when if I go too far back, you can see me go behind the seat. So now I'm a 5-year-old watching Dad drive. But if I go back here and click this again, it brings me up, right? But then if I sit up in my seat like my parents used to tell me to, I have to click the button again. But it allows me to do that, so I'll just check left and right. Oh, by the way, if I look up here, my rotor brake is off. That's my rotor brake right there, so that's off. I think I'm okay with everything. I'm just having a peek up here, see if there's any other issues. My IBF 1 and 2 are norm. Electrics are all good. Everything is good with the aircraft. My NR is a little high. It shouldn't be at 104, but whatever. So this is the Airbus H160 aircraft. So let's just take off. Oh, I know what I want to do. I'm gonna hover for a second. So I want to pull this out. And if you click up here, right, you get the autopilot. And if I click down here, I can go into hover mode as soon as I take off. And if you look down on my thing, this red button here, I have mapped that to the hover button. And I think it's hover altitude or height, one or the other. So if I give it a little bit of collective here, and I got to watch my pedals here as I go up. I just have to get in the air a bit. And then when I get in the air a bit like this, just hit hover mode like that. So it's hover altitude right now. So it should steady itself. So you can see hover height actually. So one of them, the height here, is a radar altimeter, the radio altimeter height, and the other one is a barometric altimeter hold. So it's on height right now. So if I step out of the aircraft, you can see the aircraft sitting steady. I'll just rotate my way around here. And that's a beautiful hover. So I'm told that these aircraft, Airbus aircraft, fly themselves. They're good for flight training, but they're very easy to fly. So with my Tobii eye tracker, I can look around like this. There we go. So I can jump back in the aircraft, but I want to pull up my landing gear. So if you look down again at my camera, you'll see that I've got my hand here down. I've got one of the buttons here mapped to landing gear. So I should pull the landing gear up, and there we go. Landing gear going up. I'm going to keep an eye on my pedals. So it's the right rudder, left rudder. So I can give it a little bit of left rudder like this. And look around here and jump back into the aircraft. There we go. Now with this aircraft for hover control, for autopilot, I can beep it forward. So I can look at these two things here, allow me to beep it forward and back and left and right. So, but I have it, if you look down at my cyclic or my stick, I've got this button here mapped to beep it forward and back. So if you look, this is up and down, this is forward and back. So if I press this button here, I'm beeping it forward, and you see the aircraft move forward ever so slightly, right? And then I can beep it back like this. 2 clicks back, I can go left, and I can go right. So, and then if I want to go up and down, I can go up with this button here mapped, up, and so that changes my height. You look at I think if you look here, it'll show the height go up. There we go. That little green marker on the far right just went up, and the aircraft should go up to match that height. And then if I just beep it down a bit, it'll go down, and that's how I control kind of autopilot helping me land, right, which is kind of cool. So now I just have to get out of this mode. I had it mapped, so I press this button and I'm off the hover mode. But I think the height was still holding. So I want to make sure that I'm off here, and I can't hold height. I got to map another button so that I can actually fly this aircraft and not worry about the height hold. So there we go. I'm in the air.
H160 Yankee Papa Echo, you are not cleared to take off.
Oh, I'm not even bad. Not cleared to take off. So let me just acknowledge. So there we go. Now I'm flying, and I'm just going to disregard air traffic control here. And this is Papua New Guinea, so it's a beautiful, and I'm flying this in a helicopter, which is, you know, a chopper, which probably are used occasionally here. But I got to get high enough here to get over these mountains in order to go where I want to go. So just straighten the aircraft out a bit, and I can step outside the aircraft like that. But I got to keep an eye on things here. So now I'm making sure I don't over torque here. So I'm looking at my torque here, my N1, and my N2 is at 100. So I guess not too bad. And there we go. So now I'm starting my flight. What I'm really amazed at with Papua New Guinea is how many actual towns or villages there are in these mountains. It's just amazing. So I gotta watch my track here. So I'm being a bit coy. So let's just stay on track. I'm just gonna keep an eye on the mountains. Every time you see the eye tracker move, I'm actually looking down at my tablet to make sure that I'm following my flight plan. And just keeping my torque normal, so I'm going around probably get up to 140 without a problem. And fly this baby. So there we are, and if I look at the mountain here, if I look at the windows here, it's a beautiful view. Look at that, it's just gorgeous. And it's funny with the Tobii eye tracker, if I tried to stick my head out the window, see I got rid of my co-pilot, but there's still some people in the back that are trusting that I'm doing this guy's reading, he's probably reading a novel. He's reading a novel by EXA Consulting, EXA Consulting. Look them up, they're a great consulting company up here in Canada. So I think I may need to climb a bit to get above these mountains. I want a little bit too high, so let's just slow down a bit and climb. Because I don't want to hit the mountains. So I need to get up to an altitude of, I think, 2,000 or 2,500 feet. Right now, where am I? I'm 1,000. I'm hitting up to 1,400 feet. If you look here, 1,400 feet. Now, yeah, let's just go this way a bit, because I don't want to have to wrestle with this mountain here. And I'm climbing as fast as I can here to get up these mountains. Again, the Tobii eye tracker is just amazing, because I can look around just as you're sitting in the aircraft and looking around. There's not much difference. I can see a village over there on the top there on the left-hand side. It's really cool. And anytime I want to reset the eye tracker, I can just click that button. If you look on the right-hand side of the screen, I can just re-click that #1 trigger button on the aircraft. So there we go. I think I'm getting high enough now. I'm following my track. And I'm going to attempt a landing here at this airfield. If for some reason I crash, I apologize. I don't want to, but sometimes I get distracted, and there you go. So I call myself the Flying Watchmaker because I am a watchmaker. Look at, there's a road up here on the mountain. Look at that. Phenomenal. Going from village to village. They effectively do farming up here in this area. Reset my eye tracker there, get back on track. Again, I'm watching the track. If I looked at the nav, you could see that. So if I just grab that and pull that down, you'll be able to see it in view, maybe. Let me just look and see if that happens. Actually, it doesn't, because it's representing a separate window in my recording, so I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm looking up at my 4th window on the screen to make sure everything is working well. And I'm right on my track right now, so. And if I just go to maps for a second, it's giving me a red light on my height, so let me just get down a bit. There's some cloud cover here. There's my map. Now someday that this aircraft will allow me to to map the Navi chart to this particular map here, but I've got it running, like I said, in a tablet, so there's no big deal. So I may want to lower my altitude a bit, and I'm going to leave it in the autopilot mode to be ready when I get close to landing. But I'm around halfway there right now. I got to keep an eye on the clouds and the trees, so I don't want to get in a situation where I get in trouble because of the trees and stuff. So when I went to find this airstrip, I looked for this particular path, I think. I'm not sure if that's a river or what, but I can look above in my windscreen with the Tobii eye tracker and just look around and see what's down there. That's a road down there. So I could see some of that on my map. And I also have ForeFlight, so I looked it up on ForeFlight to do some flight planning for this and make sure I wasn't too far off. I think I've got to go over this next ridge here to find this. Yeah, I got to adjust my flight a bit, my flight path a bit. I'm slightly off right now. It's giving me a height warning. So what's that height warning? So radio altitude hold, yeah, there's a bit of a height warning here. But I do have to get a little higher to clip these mountains. So normally you'd fly this in a fixed wing aircraft. And not a helicopter, I don't think. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's the map. But it's not, it didn't allow me to put the Navi chart on here, but I do have it on my Android tablet running right in front of my screen, kind of off to the side. When you do that, you got to make sure it's out of the way of the Tobii eye tracker. So here we go. So I'm getting to climb up here, get out of the way of these mountains here. I could only imagine how dangerous it is for these bush pilots to be flying like this above the clouds. So when I get down here, I think I want to drop down below the clouds here so I can see what I'm doing. So I think I'll be coming close to where I want to navigate. I don't know if there's another ridge here I have to deal with. I'm going to go into the valley a bit and just take the aircraft down slowly, not too fast. There we go. And I don't want the clouds that are at kind of the peak level, mountain peak level, blocking my view, because it makes it super dangerous to be flying through these things. So, and I turned my terrain avoidance warning system off. My TAWS is off right now, so now I'm just flying a line, and there's a little hoping and praying going on right now, just to let you know. And eventually I'm going to see the land here. Take it easy. Alright, there we go. So I'm seeing through the clouds now, so I got a decent visual. I think the clouds are also blocking my Tobii eye tracker. Maybe. Here we go. Now I still have to climb over the edge of this range here to find this landing strip. But I'm kind of sorta on track to go this way a bit here. It's a little bit of, don't have to use much rudder when you're flying at 140 knots. Don't have to worry about that. So I feel a bit better that I'm below the clouds a bit. I'm not as scared as I was a few seconds ago. So there's a village down there again, and just torquing down a bit. So I'm pulling down on my collective just a bit, pushing down on my collective just a bit. I think if I go over this ridge here on the side, every time you see the head move, I'm looking at my instruments. I'm going to go this ridge here, and then after I get over this ridge, I'm going to go hard left. So a little bit of left rudder maybe. keep an eye on my N2 there. And I'm going to be hunting. I got another ridge up here somewhere, so I'm going to be hunting for that airstrip. There's something over here. It looks like there's houses in another village up here. I'm just amazed at the altitude these people live. Like, they're way up there, so they're nosebleed level. So there we go. Still good. Now I know that airstrip is kind of over to the left a bit here. I don't want to overshoot it, but it's just try to follow my flight plan. So right now I'm kind of on my track for my flight plan. Again, I'm keeping an eye on the mountains here. I don't want to jeopardize because my train avoidance system is off. I'm a little concerned here, but I didn't want it bugging me the whole flight. So there you go. Now, what I'm going to do right now is lower my landing gear, because I'm getting very close. You can see my landing gear right there lowering. And if I looked outside, you'd see my landing gear be down, but I'm kind of freaking out here to make sure I pay attention to what I'm doing, because this landing strip is at a pretty high altitude. So I'm going over this valley, and every time you see me, the view go down, I'm looking at my tablet. It's got Navi charts on it. So, and I had a waypoint up here that I placed on the map, and I flew from that waypoint. I would go into my final from that waypoint, and really I planned it for an aircraft and not a helicopter. So, but this is just too much fun to fly. So there we go. Only a few minutes away, so bear with me. Let's just jump outside for a second. Yeah, the landing gear are down. Landing gear is down. The landing gear are down. I guess there's 3 of them, so I've got nose wheel steering on this helicopter, which is nice. And I took a course in Westland helicopters years ago on how to pin the landing gear on an H160 helicopter. So there you go. So that was an interesting course. I also took a course on windshield wipers, which was the most boring course I've ever taken in my life. This was a maintenance manager's course, but really it was a whole systems course, because I'm not a maintenance guy. I'm aerospace engineering. That's somebody else. I bet you air traffic control is pissed off at me right now. So where's the strip? I'm looking around for the strip. It's over here somewhere. Still flying my track right now, so I'm still on my flight plan. I'm supposed to go to this waypoint here and then hang a right. That's theoretically what's going to happen. So let me look outside for a second and see if I can find that airstrip. I'm going to go down my altitude a bit, slow down a bit. So I'm getting close, and I need to bank right here to find this airstrip. I'd like to get a visual on it first. And there we go. I am at my waypoint, so let's just go this way here a bit, and we'll see how close I can get to my airstrip. Where is this thing? It may be higher than as I can see right now. I've got a tree line here, and the airstrip supposedly is over to the right hand, or the right hand side here, above that tree line. So where are we, airstrip? Hopefully it's not way the heck up here. I wouldn't be surprised. I actually like to pause and zoom in so I can see where the heck I am. So right there is where the airstrip should be if I go forward. But I'm again not sure. Getting very little airspeed here because I'm trying to come up above this little hill here and see if I've got an airstrip down there. I think I might. Look at that. That's the airstrip right there. I think they think it's the airstrip. No way, that can't be it. That's it, folks, we're in trouble. That may be what was mapped on the map for the airstrip, but that's just a mountain on the side. I don't trust that to be the airstrip. I'm going to pause and just grab my, so just pause for a second and go to my tablet, and I got to realign this here because I just knocked it. I apologize for that, by the way. And let's see if I can get this back into view properly.
X-ray Alpha Whiskey wind 265 at 5.
It's not too bad. I'll fix that after, but anyway, I gotta zoom in on my airstrip here. So.
Runway 35 right, X-ray Alpha Whiskey.
All right, I can actually see that I'm past the airstrip right now. So let me just move this up a bit, and so you guys can see what I'm up to. Are we good again? All right, so I'm gonna hit off a pause, and I do need to turn around here because I'm off the airstrip. Keep an eye on everything here. If I rotate here, I should be able to go down a bit. So I missed the airstrip because I zoomed out too much, and that might be it down there. So let's just go forward here. We look down here. Yeah, I think that's the airstrip right there. I'm gonna go forward a bit. There we go. Now I don't want to lose too much altitude too fast here because it'll get me in trouble pretty fast. Yeah, that's the airstrip right down there. So if I can come in on that, and I know with an aircraft, see if you look right down there, there's the airstrip. And with an aircraft, you would be coming in on final counterclockwise. So I'm trying to just pull the aircraft around here and get myself kind of lined up with the runway. So even with a helicopter, you should be coming in that way. And just look down again a bit. So I'm dropping altitude pretty fast here. So look down here. If I were to turn here, I'm going to slow down a bit here. If you see, I take some push back or push down in the collective when I'm trying to bleed off some airspeed here. Trying to figure out where the heck I am. I went a bit too far, but bear with me. I'm just clugging around here. Is that the airstrip? I think that's the airstrip straight ahead here. That's where I'm heading, and let me just take off some altitude here. I don't want to take it off too fast. If you look right here, this is where I'm bleeding off some altitude, and I'm going to keep an eye on my altitude and my speed, both coming in. So that's the tricky part about the helicopters. It's hands and feet, and it's not that easy. So give me a little bit of a warning if I'm dropping too fast. Pick up the yeah, there we go. Coming down, and you want to land this without the autopilot. I could auto hover and then beep it over, but I'm going to try to land it without the autopilot. Alright, now I gotta...
X-ray Alpha Whiskey exit runway when able.
Figured it would give me a warning. Altitude. Let me come in here this way a bit and then rotate. So right now I'm pretty much hovering. Pull up on my collective a bit.
X-ray Alpha Whiskey contact ground on 118.7.
I'm going to ignore air traffic control, ignore the heck out of air traffic control. I can see right now that it would be super difficult even with a fixed-wing aircraft to come in here. And Microsoft Flight Simulator does such an amazing job at modeling all of this. So I don't think I'll be able to pick a flat spot to land here, but I will do my best. I'm coming in now nice and easy. And again, it's hands and feet. So just going to tilt. So here you're just tilting your stick to the right, but you're hitting your left rudder just a bit to line yourself up. Now I'm going to come up here, and this will penalize me if I hit that tree. I'm done, pretty much. There we go. Now I would like to climb up that hill a bit to get for landing, right? But maybe I'll just try to put it down with the nose, because it's not really a flat spot, but it looks like a little bit flatter up top here, but it's a little more dangerous to land up there. So just beep it, bring it forward just a bit here. Maybe I'll just put it down right here. See if I can land this. Now if I put it in hover mode, which would be a smart thing to do for me right now.
Check power.
It doesn't like the power. I like the way it does that, by the way. It warns you, gives you a check power warning. No, that's not good. I gotta escape from this problem. There we go. And then I'm going to go into hover mode here. So I'm going to decide to do an altitude hover because I think that it's way too dangerous trying to land the way I did. So I just put it in hover mode here, so hopefully I can straighten things up and go down. So let's see if I can beat this down. If I look outside here, you'll see, there we go. Really no flat spots to land in here, so I'm just going to hopefully put it down in the grass and the aircraft's not going to tip over. You see I'm just beeping it. If you look at my thumb here, top, just beeping that down. Beep it forward a bit. Jump back in the aircraft here so I can see what the heck I'm up to here. And just beat that down some more, and a little bit more forward, and see if I can get this thing down on this hill without crashing. This is quite an angle, so what I probably want to make sure is that my brake is on. Do I have my brake on here? Yes, it is. So my parking brake is on as I'm looking down here. So that way I might be able to survive this landing. It's going to be a funky landing on a hill. I don't know how they do this with an aircraft. I think this hill is a bit too steep. Let me keep this forward a bit. Give it a bit of right rudder. So now I'm pretty much where I want to be. Give it a little bit of right rudder here, and then beep down some more. And of pray. If you're not religious, you should be right now. Come on. Jump back in the aircraft here again. Come on. So you can see how difficult this would be if you're a helicopter pilot to try to land this thing. You may have to go into the altitude or alt or take it off or something to land it. So take it out of hover mode and then just land the baby. So I really don't want to do it because I could crash. Come on. What is it? Come to daddy? Can't remember what you say here. I'm just going to see if my barometric altitude is going to be better for bringing this thing down. There we go. It wants to land. And we are down, folks. Let's jump up, go to the aircraft for a second. Did it. So there we go. I'm pretty happy. Yeah, there we go. Landed it. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it was pretty good. So there we go. Let's have a look around the aircraft. There it is. It's not that bad. It looks like way more of a slope when you're sitting, when you're above it, than it is when you're looking at it. Right? Just zoom in a bit here. And there's the aircraft now sitting on the ground, and doesn't look like anyone's driving. There it is there, and if I just zoom out again, what I want to do is turn the aircraft off. So we'll jump back in the cockpit. And I've got my collective all the way down, but I want to put up the checklist again. There's the checklist, and I want to go down to got taxi, take off, I got all that wonderful stuff, and I think shut off, turn off. Before landing, alright, shut down, so my parking brake was on, collective is down, it says minimum, but it's down. Sticks centered, engine 1, engine 2 idle, and then the floats are off there, and then the radar altimeter is off, so I need to put my engines in idle here. I'm going to do it backwards from when I did it before. Just lean over again with the Tobii eye tracker. Idle, and then it's a bit tricky, I tell you. I'm going to have to work on this so it's not as tricky. I think it might be because I've got glasses on, but I'll pull that into idle here. Still in flight mode, come on. Thank you very much. So now it's in idle. And then I've got to floats, that's fine, and I got to turn my RAECS off. So my RA1 and 2 off, off. Maybe I had my FMS off. I'm not sure if they were on. No, they were on. And my ECS. I know I don't have a float card up here or my start card, by the way, so I don't have to worry about that. And let me look at this. These are fine. This is fine. I don't have I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I don't really have a ground power unit for this aircraft. So let me just look down here again and see what I got to do. Shut down collective. Floats, RA1, engine 1 and engine 2 off, and then rotor brake. So you apply rotor brake when your NR is at 50%. I'm sure if I could try that. So I'll take the engines and turn them both off. Engine 1, engine 2 off. Okay, I'm screwing this up. Unlatch, grab it. That's it. I'm just tilting my head over a bit. Off. And when my NR is at 50%, I'm allowed hitting my rotor brake. Let's see what happens. I'm at 65, 59, 58, 57, 54, 52, I'm at 50. So let's just grab that rotor brake and pull it. There it is. Rotor brake on. Let me step outside and see if the blades stop. Look at that. Thing of beauty. And I think, I'm not sure whether I've got to turn my rotor brake on or off again. So let me look down again. And then rotor brake applied, NR50 rotor brake release. So I need to release the rotor brake. Battery 1 and battery 2 off. All switches. Okay. So take off my rotor brake. Again, I need to, there we go. Don't need that anymore. And then just turn off my batteries here. Battery 1, battery 2 goes off, and then my logbook comes up. There you go. It loves my landing so much, it brought up a logbook. I'll hit continue here. There we go. Now I'm dark. Cold and dark, baby. Cold and dark. It's stuttering a bit because it doesn't know what to do. So tuck my tablet in here, and everything seems to be off and dead. There's my Airbus H160 manual, and there's my keys. I didn't even need to use the keys and a pen. And let me look and see if everyone's happy. This guy's still playing video games on his tablet. So there we go. That's it. I'm going to step out of the aircraft for a second, and I'm going to look around. That's the airfield right there. Look at that. Just amazing. Beautiful scenery. Just gorgeous scenery. There's a little home over there. And I think there's other buildings over there. So anyway, let me jump back in for a sec. So I'm JD. Again, thanks for watching. This was a quick flight. It was interesting. I thought I could maybe land this thing by hand. Maybe I could, but there was just too many mountains and trees and stuff around. It scared the crap out of me. So it's not a runway. So I did use the autopilot in the hover mode in order to land the aircraft. And I think I did a pretty good job. And let me see if this door opens. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to step out now and go have a soda. So thanks a lot again. Thanks for watching my videos. Over and out. The Flying Watchmaker, over and out.